No reason a person should have to pay for more than one video cipher in the same house. Why should he have to only have one place he can enjoy HBO from when he has maybe 2 or 3 receivers in his home? Absurd. All right, take a look at that. Then I want to remind you all that we had, like, it's a very quick piece, and we're going to run more of it next week, on the incredible opportunity that you'll have come September to attend a service seminar. They'll be conducted both on the East Coast and the West Coast. So stay tuned for those 2 messages, and probably you'll see V-Cipher technology. And for those of you that are truly involved with these key writings, we understand there's a little problem with the one that's marketed by those 3 fellows in the South. It's not the greatest key puller in the world, as we understand, but it is the world's greatest key writer back to U7. So maybe you're going to have to buy 2 systems right now. One from the fellows in the South that have the writer back to U7, which is so important because it seems like they might be able to finding ways to shut off those chips that are only written back as far as U19. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about right now, it's a good opportunity for you to think about ordering the New Testament tape, which talks a great deal about that. But this is not meant as a commercial. So stay tuned for a few quick messages, and we'll see you in Green Sheep. Thanks.
The first thing that one must do before working on any Video Cipher 2 board is to put the board in a unit and make sure that the board is functioning properly. Many a board has had a problem right from the factory. Record the ID number on paper. This is done by pressing Setup 1 and recording the 8-digit number at the top of the screen. At this point, a 28-pin low-profile socket must be installed in the U30 location. We use a heat gun to remove the excess epoxy, then a Dremel tool to grind the top of the EEPROM. After this is done, put a stock chip in U30 and check the board again, making sure that the ID number reads exactly as before. We are now ready to hook up the seed key archiver board and extract the keys. First, we remove the epoxy covering the pins 1 through 14 on U19. Again, we use a heat gun to soften this epoxy, and then a sharp X-Acto knife to peel the softened epoxy away. Next, we carefully remove the epoxy surrounding the C27 capacitor near the bottom left of U7. The next step is to cut the right leg of the C27 capacitor, trying to leave enough of the leg both on the capacitor and in the board so we can reconnect it when we are through. When this is done, we carefully tin the points on the board that we will be hooking the extractor up to. We include full instructions and a hookup diagram that can be referred to with the extractor. Next step is to solder the connections from the extractor to the points on the board, observing the color codes and locations carefully. First, connect the black wire to U9 pin 7. This connection must be done first and removed last. Next, we connect the red wire to U9 pin 14. Next, the green wire to point 00 near pin 8 of U9. Next, connect the blue wire to U19 pin 2. Then the yellow wire to U19 pin 10. The orange wire is connected at U31 pin 3. Last, we connect the white wire to the capacitor C27. Connect this white wire to the leg sticking out of the board closest to U7. This completes the wiring of the board. Make sure that the on-off switch is in the off position and place the CTS utility chip in the U30 location. Plug in the VC2 board and check the ID number again. It is important that the ID number is exactly the same as when we first plugged the board in. We are now ready to extract the keys from the board. Plug the board into the video cipher and power up the unit. Remember, you must always unplug a unit when removing or replacing the cage into the video cipher. If not, damage can occur to the board. Turn the switch on the extractor. Press Setup and select number 2 This will extract the keys and place them in RAM, where we can now read them. Turn the switch off. Press Setup and select number 3. The keys are now displayed on the screen, first with the unit ID number at the top, then key 0 with 7 bytes, key 1 and 7 bytes, key 2 and 7 bytes, and key 3 and 7 bytes. Write down this information and strive for accuracy. One mistake and the unit will not function later. If the unit has been authorized, we can view the monthly keys by pressing Setup 8 and choosing position 61. This unit has not been authorized, therefore there are no monthly keys in the 6100 position. If it had been authorized, this position would contain the unit's monthly keys. We can now power the unit down and disconnect the wiring. Remember to remove the wiring in reverse order that it was installed. The white wire is removed first and the black wire is removed last. We must now reconnect the leg of the C27 capacitor. If this cap was destroyed in the extracting process, then it must be replaced with a 68 picofarads capacitor. If the board is hooked up without connecting this cap or replacing a bad one, the unit's seed keys will be lost forever. We can now install a stock U30 and check the board again by pressing Setup 1. The board is now back in stock condition and can be authorized by any programmer. If you have any technical questions, call the CTS Tech line at 904-563-2680.
Satellite dealers and VC2 resellers. Are you sending out your VideoCypher boxes to be fixed by others? Are you leaving a UPS or FedEx trail directly to your door? Think about it. And if you do, you should worry. Or you can worry no more. Become integrated like an IRD. Make all the profit and leave no trails. vCypher Technology offers a package that makes you fully independent and self-reliant. And never ever have your VC2s turned off again. We guarantee it. vCypher Technologies offers the VideoCypher technician, and even a non-technical person, the most complete package for repairs, cloning, and modifying VideoCypher ever offered. The package includes a chip disk with over 25 programs for cloning, utilities, and pay-per-view run chips, including the famous Doomsday chipset, which cannot be turned off. It operates on all old and new boards and gets SpaceNet 223, the previously unobtainable Telstar channel. The package includes full software tools such as disassemblers and simulators and full documentation. Full VideoCypher schematics, parts lists, and a complete description of how the VC2 works, plus secret inside information on the VideoCypher module itself. It includes a high-quality EEPROM burner which programs the appropriate EEPROMs in about 15 seconds. It includes a tube of 28-pin sockets and software on EEPROMs included. 2 sets of 0181 keys and 1 set of 0180 keys are included and are guaranteed to run for 1 year or they're replaced free of charge. You get several commented listings of the various U30 and U7 programs in the VideoCypher and a helpful tricks list on how to display on-screen messages and crack many of the VideoCypher chips. Full detailed instructions on how to remove epoxy for replacing U30 and a full day of actual training of all aspects of the VideoCypher with hands-on demonstrations of the all-important techniques from EEPROM burning to epoxy removal. You gain first-hand experience on a one-on-one basis for VC2 enhancement. For more information, call area code 514-451-5704. That's vCypher Systems. We're located in Montreal at area code 514-451-5704.
Hi, my name is Lee Hadlock for Lee Hadlock Incorporated. A lot of people know me as the doctor, or a person that talks about the VideoCypher in every aspect. Somebody that educates the public. Somebody that teaches the public how to repair, how to work on, and how the different attributes of different software works out there. One of the things that I do is I deal with the entire legal aspect of the VideoCypher. And what I'm interested in doing is putting on a repair seminar in both the East and West Coast somewhere in around September and October of this year. But what I need from the people out there in the audience, I need to know if you would be willing to attend. If I can get 200 people to come, I'll put it on. I'll have one in the East and West Coast. At least 100 in each location. If it's extremely successful, I'll even possibly put one in Central America, meaning the center of the United States, not Central America. So what I need from people is I need you to write me a postcard, a letter, anything, even leaving a message on my commercial answering machine, as some people call it, to let me know that if you'd be interested in going. Let me tell you about what I'd like to do. First of all, the price. The price will be $500 a head. Some people say it's a little steep, but one of the things that you'll get at the seminar is you'll get diagnostic and repair software. Not chips, repair software. Non-copyrighted by Maycom. The whole 9 yards is going to be 100% on the up and up. You're going to learn how the video cipher operates, how it works. You're going to learn how to repair the video cipher, the different waveforms that are at different locations in the video cipher. You're going to learn where to obtain some of the non-proprietary chips that go bad. You're going to learn some of the symptoms that happen with inside the video cipher in regards to areas that go bad frequently. What you're going to learn, is, if you're a techie, is you're going to learn how to fix it. You're going to learn how to fix it at home, and you're going to learn how to make money. That's what's going to happen. We're going to teach you about static electricity. We're going to teach you how to use a soldering iron if you haven't used one. We're going to teach you how to use a good desoldering station. We're going to teach you how to use an oscilloscope if you've never used one. We want to cover every aspect, from the basics to the advanced. We're also going to have software people there to talk about how these Musketeer chips work, how they were designed, and we're going to talk about that not because of the illegal aspect of it, but the legal aspect of how to prevent getting ripped off. Okay? I want people to know that. We're going to give you a full detailed schematic. We're also going to give you attributes about the video cipher, places that things are stored, and how to repair, i.e. password, service ID problems, things of that nature. We're going to give you 2 text tool chips that will allow you to go in and modify any area of U7 in the old boards, and also modify any area in the new boards, except for, of course, loading and downloading seed keys. But one of the things I'm going to try to do between now and then is see if I can get some cheap extractor software for people out there who come to my seminar. So that's something I'm looking forward to doing if people are interested. So what I need from people is I need to know if you would be interested. If you're not, don't write me. Because I don't want to put something on that I have 5 to 10 people there. I want to put it on for people that are interested. I want to put it on for the programmers out there that would love to see what's going on with this damn thing. And I wish they would. I want to put it on for GI. I can maybe teach their techs a few things. I want to put it on to educate you, the technician, you, the dealer, and whoever else you are out there. So please let me know. You'll probably see the address at the bottom of the screen, and I thank you.
Hello, once again, Green Sheet is here.
That's
Thursday
right.
night.
This must be Thursday night.
But also, we're into our 2nd year, by the way. It's, believe it or not, my 1-year anniversary this week.
Hi, I'm Karen Howes. This is Boresight News. On tonight's show, we have news and we have 3 feature reports. One centers on an interview that Mike Ventriello did in Staten Island this week. He went out there to speak to a man who's marketing something that might interest some satellite television dealers out there. When times are slow and you're not installing as many systems as you'd like to, the idea is to get into the electronics retail end. What the Staten Island distributor is marketing are racks. You could sell anything from telephone hookups to connectors. Mike interviewed him, and he's going to have a report on that and possibly how you can get into that retail end of the business. It's a big one, and it could fill the pocketbook at times when system sales are at a low. Also tonight, Mike Ventriello brings a second report on the cable hearings, which occurred, well, I guess it was a month ago now, in the House. Tonight zeroes in on James Mooney, who's the president of the National Cable Television Association, and what his reasons are for why cable rate hikes are so high. We also have in that features talk from some town commissioners who are declaring that cable is just totally out of control and it needs to be re-regulated. So Mike has that report. I have a report on baseball. The season has already begun, and Major League Baseball has announced that it's going to scramble some of its feeds, though most are still open right now. The report takes a look at why Major League Baseball decided to scramble, and it also looks at what is going to still be open and still be free, and what the future looks like for home dish owners who want to tap into baseball. We have that. As far as the news on tonight, we've got maybe a look at 2848. That hearing last week was postponed. Tonight, hopefully, we'll have a report. If not, we'll have one next week. 2848 is the copyright bill introduced by Congressman Kastenmeier in the House Subcommittee on Telecommunications. And that bill, what that bill does is that it tells you that you're going to be able to have those superstations out there, because there's a lot of forces that are saying that the 15 superstations that now exist might have to go off the air due to certain copyright concerns. 2848 is a law that will enable superstations to sell its programming to dish owners, and that will keep them on the air. Also tonight on the news, we have an update on the General Instruments lawsuit against network production, so stay tuned for that and other news, and we'll be right back.
Having your home wired for cable seems innocent enough, until you realize that you've given up control of your television set to an unregulated monopoly. Your local satellite dealer offers the alternative that can free you from the crushing grip of cable and allow you to regain control of your television set. A home satellite system. Support your local satellite dealer, the unsung hero of the video communications industry.
Electronic Specialists has developed a 3-faceted audio-video protection system. Coupled with a high-speed, high-energy spike surge suppressor and wide-band RF interference filter is a power-fail interrupt protective feature. Designed to disconnect AC power to protect audio-video equipment for even momentary power line disruptions, the power-fail interrupt protects the equipment from wild, damaging power gyrations which usually accompany AC power disruptions. Power is restored via a front panel manual reset switch. The ISO 2X PFI Isolator Power Fail Interrupt with 39,000 surge amp suppression capability will protect up to 6 valuable audio-video pieces of equipment. Available from Electronic Specialists for only $199.95, it comes with a 5-year warranty and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Call right now, toll-free, 1-800-225-4876 to place your order or to call for a free catalog. Tell them you saw it here on Boresight.
Good evening. I'm Mike Ventriello. National Satellite Communications is introducing a quality service program whereby satellite dealers will be reimbursed $41 for service calls. NSC Marketing Director Ronald Bruce told Boresight that his company decided to develop the program after a survey in the transponder indicated that 92% of the responding satellite dealers would change distributors if they were compensated for their service calls. Mr. Bruce added that the quality service program will benefit both the dealer and the consumer. Another added feature of NSC's quality service program is that it applies to all brands of satellite receiving equipment sold by NSC, whether it is in warranty or out of warranty. The program also applies to any legitimate TVRO problem whatsoever. If you want more information about NSC's quality service program, call 1-800-833-4485 and ask for Gary Ganong or Jerry Jordan. Netlink has a Disney deal. We turn it to Atlanta and to Karen House.
Thanks, Mike. Netlink announced a special Disney offering this week. The Washington-based program distributor is selling 1 year of Disney and a video cipher 2 for $450. Disney's suggested retail price is $89.40 for the service, so that means that a dish owner subscribing through Netlink will get a video cipher 2 for $360. The usual price of a video cipher is $395. Netlink also sells CNN, ESPN, WTBS, American Movie Classics, Express, and 6 Denver-based superstations, including 3 network affiliates. The Satellite Broadcast Communications Association has put into action another piracy committee, which will work with the SBCA's current piracy task force, and by July, the group plans to announce the much sought-after solution on how to stop piracy. Some industry spokesmen say that 70% of all Video Cipher 2 sales wind up modified, and that most dish owners have been turned into crooks because program pricing is too high. Piracy is a problem that has stumped many, but for most the answer is a simple one: lower the prices. Marty Lafferty, president of Tempo Development Corporation, which is a home dish owner program distributor group, is heading up the SPCA new piracy committee. Mike?
Thanks, Karen. The Cosmos-Chaparral clash continues. According to Cosmos attorney John Lewis, Chaparral's request for a new arbitration hearing was denied by federal judge Robert Aguilar, who reportedly handed down a 5-page decision accusing Chaparral of acting in bad faith. According to Lewis, the main points of the decision are that Chaparral asked for binding arbitration, had a fair hearing, and lost, so pay up. Chaparral has the option of appealing the arbitrator's decision to award Cosmos Antenna $1,500,000 by going before an appellate court jury trial. In order to do that, however, Chaparral must post a bond equal to the arbitrator's award to Cosmos. According to the Cosmos attorney, Chaparral's chance of winning the appeal is 1 in 100. Chaparral spokesman John Swite acknowledged Judge Aguilar's decision and told Boresight, "We have the right to appeal the judgment within 30 days, which we intend to do with success." The corporate legal feud stems from Chaparral's backing out of a contract agreement to purchase satellite antennas from Cosmos, while trying to hold Cosmos to an agreement not to manufacture antennas for another company. The following is the first of a series of Boresight Company profiles. This week we're featuring BJM Electronics in Staten Island, New York.
We're with Steve Perez, sales representative for BJM Electronics in Staten Island. And Steve is going to tell us about some aftermarket products that the satellite dealer may be interested in that could draw some traffic into the showroom. Steve, why don't you tell us what you have?
Well, BJM Electronics is a national distributor to the accessory line for both audio, video, telephone, computer accessory rack programs. We basically sell to the video market as far as retail sales for rental video stores. What we're trying to do now is enter the market to the dealers, satellite television dealers, who want to enhance their products and also keep traffic coming into the store. By doing this, we offer a complete line of rack accessory programs for the customer to come in and see what they need, or possibly even have one of the salesmen in your stores help them out with extra cable runs, AB switches, putting up a master antenna, whatever it may be. The video line itself comprises of all kinds of accessories. They're all packaged. We give out complete price sheets and dealer support as well.
Looking at what you have here, you would it would seem that you could set up a satellite dealer to become a mini electronics store, sort of as a Radio Shack would be, because you have not only things that a satellite dealer would be interested in as AB switches and connectors, but you have some computer products and a lot of telephone aftermarket aftermarket items.
Exactly. What we try to do is offer the dealer a few different assortment of programs. He doesn't necessarily have to go into a full array of a large type of rack system. He can actually go with a spindle style, which is not shown here, but on each side of that spindle can you have your video accessories, your audio accessories, and your telephone, and so on. The customer, the dealer rather, can then add on to that and going into more large type of array of programs and going into computer. What you want generally is that when a customer comes into your store, you want for him to remember that he did see accessories in your store, rather than he go to Radio Shack, where basically what you're doing is you're drawing more customers into your door. By doing this, you have more potential of a sale on a satellite system or even a master antenna system, or even possibly even extra cable runs in a new building or a new home.
According to Mr. Perez, BJM has just started to market its rack program to satellite dealers.
We haven't really taken a full step into the market, so to speak. We've been basically concentrating on the video dealers or like the retail sales dealers. When you go into a rent-a-video cassette, they're there, and the customer just picks and chooses, and basically it makes it simple for the person behind the counter because everything is marked and labeled, and it's very easy to explain.
The use of point-of-purchase displays is nothing new to retailers. It's an effective way to increase store traffic.
You want the customer to come in, and you want him to say, "Oh, I didn't know you had this, oh, I didn't know you had that, and can you help me with this?" And all of a sudden you've got a conversation going with the guy. And pretty soon you might be building his computer system at his home, or even his networking or running cables for him in his business. I mean, it just leads on to sales. You got a guy coming in and he sees this and he sees that, and he never knew you had it before. He's gone to Crazy Eddie and he's seen it, but he's never seen it at your store.
So in addition to increasing his profit base with all these little gadgets, he also could pick up some new sales leads that he would
Absolutely, absolutely. There's no question about it.
Although BJM Electronics is located in Staten Island, New York, its rack program and dealer support services are available nationwide.
Shipped mostly by UPS, and most of the products in the rack programs are shippable by UPS. We send out, as far as dealer support, literature and a complete brochure, and as you see, you have a complete line, place cards here on top of each individual rack. The dealers get this, and also the dealers beforehand get a complete understanding of what programs are available. There are, I think, about 8 different programs. In each program listed how many items are in that program and what items are in that program. What we try to do in terms of helping the dealer is, if a particular item is not moving within a period of time, and it's a reasonable period of time, we're willing to take that particular product back and exchange it for something that is a mover for him. So the customer's not going to be left with dead stock on their racks, which is a good selling point. It really is.
In addition to nationwide distribution and good dealer support, BJM's rack program allows for a healthy markup for bigger profits.
You're looking at anywhere on an item between 35 to 45% up. And usually material won't last on your shelf, depending on your area, because each area is going to be a little different from the next. Anywhere between 15 to 30 days, 45, 60 days at the most.
Sounds like a good deal.
Yeah, it is. It is a very good deal.
Satellite dealers interested in the BJM Electronics rack program can call Steve Perez at 1-800-DIAL-BJM. That's 1-800-DIAL-BJM.
That was the first in what we hope to be a continuing series of company profiles here on Boresight in an effort to tell you what is out there in the field, who's doing what, and what these guys are doing to help the satellite dealer. Also, we're going to have product profiles, and next week we're going to be featuring the STS SR100. Hernia not included, but we do have the stereo remote that we're also going to be taking a look at also. That's next week on Boresight. When we return, more news. Don't go away.
Announcing a special deal on Satellite TV Preview, a complete weekly satellite TV guide. Just mail us the cover of the guide you presently receive, and we'll give you a special deal of just $36 for a full year of Satellite TV Preview. That's $10 off the regular subscription price for Satellite TV Preview, a great guide. And all you have to do is send us a cover. And we'll send you Satellite TV Preview, the most complete weekly satellite TV guide. To get this special deal, just send your present guide cover with a $36 check or money order to 262 Old New Brunswick Road, Piscataway, New Jersey, 08854. Visa MasterCard orders, call 800-876-6121. Call today to save $10. Protect your hardware and your software with the Microcom 300 uninterrupted power supply. It protects your computer, your data, and the other important devices you're operating when power is lost. It also gives you the ultimate in protection from lightning storms. Don't let your data go down with your computer. Buy the Microcom 300 uninterrupted power supply for only $275. Visa MasterCard is also accepted. Send check or money order to 262 Old New Brunswick Road, Piscataway, New Jersey, 08854.
Welcome back. Turner Broadcasting has signed Telecommunications Incorporated to carry its new Turner Network television service. TCI will carry TNT on 75% of its systems as a basic service. The agreement also allows cable systems that are partially owned by TCI the option to commit 75% of their viewer base. Response to this option has been mixed. One of the main obstacles that many multi-system operators have is limited channel capacity. Some aren't convinced that they should allocate a channel for a service that will be composed of old movies from the MGM film library, as well as old MGM TV dinosaurs such as The Man from U.N.C.L.E. and Please Don't Eat the Daisies. Turner Network Television is expected to debut on October 3rd, but so far, other than TCI, the only other major MSOs committed to carrying the service are United Artists Cable Systems, Heritage Cable, and Jones Intercable. Hughes Communications Incorporated has signed an agreement with Turner Broadcasting System to uplink CNN programming to a Pacific Ocean Intelsat satellite. The agreement will be in effect for 7 years on a 24-hour-a-day basis. Thanks to the uplink arrangement, CNN programming will be distributed to broadcasters, cable television companies, and hotels in Hong Kong, Japan, Australia, and throughout the Pacific Basin. Meanwhile, in the Caribbean, Primetime 24 markets its superstations. Karen has that story.
Primetime 24 announced it is going to distribute its 3-channel network to parts of the Caribbean. WBBM out of Chicago, WXIA out of Atlanta, and WABC from New York will now be seen in Puerto Rico by dish owners and 160,000 cable subscribers subscribing to 9 cable systems. Now, since Puerto Rico is U.S.-owned, subscribers can get a video cipher 2 without violating any export control laws. VC2s are also allowed into Canada, but Mexico and non-U.S. islands are prohibited from importing the units. The 3-week-old U.S. Customs raid orchestrated to nail Ecosphere for violating the U.S. Export Control Act sees no new developments this week. At deadline, U.S. Customs still had possession of 7,800 of Ecosphere's VC2 modules. No government agency or court has determined that Ecosphere was in fact violating any law, so General Instruments is still shipping equipment to its own biggest competitor and the country's largest equipment distributor. In an earlier statement, SBCA General Counsel Mark Ellison was quoted as saying that it was legal to distribute the decoders to non-U.S. territory commercial establishments such as cable system operators and hotels, but not to non-U.S. TVRO residents. According to a Department of Commerce source, that is not true. The Video Cipher 2 cannot be exported to any private, public, or corporate address without a license from the Department of State. In an interview with Boresight, the Commerce source noted that the department had sought to remove the VC2 from the list of inexportable items nearly 2 years ago, but other agencies, including the Department of State and the administration, denied the request. Commerce also said it was not aware that a large amount of video ciphers had already been exported to non-U.S. territories without proper authority.
Thanks, Karen. National ADL has increased its line of antenna feeds by introducing a new type of dual polarity C-band feed. National ADL's model OR100 features LNAs or LNBs that are on axis without a 90-degree elbow to install because it's built in. Other features of the OR100 include a ported feed, which allows for low loss and high gain, and a 365-degree adjustable polarity. If you want more information, you could call National ADL at 805-526-5249. According to Nielsen Media Research, VCR recorder penetration has edged that of cable during the past year. Nielsen says that in February of 1987, VCRs and cable were about equal, with each penetrating approximately 48.7% of the American TV households. Since then, VCRs have gained 19% compared to cable's 6.2%. So as of February of this year, Nielsen reports VCR penetration to be at 58.1%. Cable stands at 51.7%. Perhaps the most vocal opponents of the cable deregulation mandated by the Cable Act of 1984 are the local government officials who claim that their cities and towns no longer have any regulatory power over cable franchises. Testifying before the House Telecommunications Subcommittee was Thomas Volge, mayor of Tucson and representative of the National League of Cities. Volge helped draft the Cable Act, but insists that only a watered-down version of what the National League of Cities negotiated for is in effect.
The result has been significant rate increases with no consumer choice between competing cable operators. And even worse, intercity competition is actually decreasing due to a growing concentration of ownership. In turn, buyouts of cable companies will lead to another round of huge rate increases as operators seek to recoup the costs of buyouts from their captive subscribers.
Volge gave a first-hand account of cable consolidation in Tucson and how it has affected cable rates there.
In my city, the cable operator was recently bought by another operator for a little over $110 million. 18 months earlier, the previous operator had sold out for $60 million. That's in an 18-month period of time. We translate that to an equivalent of about 50% increase in basic rates over a year for our city.
Mayor Volge added that cities that exercise what little authority they have run the risk of expensive First Amendment lawsuits by cable companies.
Cities that in good faith have worked within the confines of the Cable Act and its provisions have been subjected to lawsuits leading to hundreds of millions of dollars of potential damages. Is it fair for cities to have followed federal law and then to face such damages awarded against them and their citizens by the courts? Mr. Chairman, we would like to ask you in the subcommittee to consider 4 suggestions. First, the Congress should enact legislation to provide blanket immunity to those cities which have acted in compliance with the Cable Act, yet are subject to damage awards and First Amendment lawsuits. Second, according to the Cable Act in 1990, the FCC is required to submit to the Congress a report on rate regulation and the effect of competition in the marketplace. In light of the FCC's actions and its evident bias in favor of the industry, we would respectfully request that the subcommittee order an independent assessment prior to the 1990 deadline, preferably from the GAO along the lines that you've indicated earlier. Third, we urge the subcommittee to call the FCC before it, to have the FCC explain its policies, and perhaps consider in the FCC's authorizing legislation placing some limits on the FCC's discretion in the cable area. And finally, I ask that we be able to return in the near future. In May, the National League of Cities Steering Committee is meeting. In June, the Conference of Mayors will meet. Both organizations are expected to develop new policies in the cable area. We'd like to return at the appropriate time to present the results of those deliberations.
James Mooney, president of the National Cable Television Association, tried to downplay the deregulatory aspect of the Cable Act, claiming the cable industry had to make its share of sacrifices to have the bill passed.
As deregulatory bills go, therefore, the Cable Act wasn't all that deregulatory, and we agreed to a great deal of regulation, which I suspect, were anyone to attempt to impose it on some of our competitors in the television business, would meet with stout resistance. But that's what it took for us to get a bill, and we're not complaining.
Mooney also gave this explanation of cable rate increases.
Cable basic rates have gone up, but the average basic rate, at least during the first 6 months of 1987, was not as great as a lot of people thought it would be, and a study that Arthur Anderson and company did for us says that when put together with decreases in the prices charged for premium services, the average subscriber's bill has gone up, or went up, only about 6.7%.
The NCTA president also addressed the charges of poor cable service.
There's a lot of evidence, too, that subscriber satisfaction is up. Our churn rates have slightly decreased. There are some surveys out from independent sources showing that most people think they're getting their money's worth, and even a study with which we have some difficulties in other respects by the NLC showed that 80% of cable regulatory officers responding believe that customer satisfaction has either stayed the same or increased since passage of the Act.
Mooney could not deny that cable operators were making money, but he did suggest they were putting their earnings to good use.
And finally, cable operators are taking some of those increased cash flows and putting it back into programming.
Another local government official speaking out against cable at this hearing was Merrill Crawford, who is the cable franchise administrator for Dubuque, Iowa. Crawford's testimony was direct and was not prefaced with praises of